All right, everything seems to be good. Yeah, there were some glitches. I mean, I apologize about that. My internet gave up on me. But yeah, I guess everything is okay. Okay, so Queen C2 is played here. Wait, I think I see. I think I see Bishop's idea. He wants to play Bishop E1. Now that is slightly different idea. So instead of playing 92, 94, Bishop's idea is to play Bishop E1 and go after the pawn on F2. How do you meet this? I don't think this is still very clear. So what Gata played here? He played Rook B6. Attacking the queen. Apparently that was not the best move. And now Bishop E1 is a big threat. All right, I think it's time for us to switch to another game. We've been sitting on this for too long. There's some action going on in Vincent Kiemer's game against Nikal Sarin, so let's switch over to that game and check what is happening there. Here we go. So Sarin has managed to establish some kind of counterplay. So he played a6, c5, and now he wants to play b5, I guess next, or maybe something like e6. I'm not sure really. h5. Okay, now this is getting super sharp, super exciting. Takes. Oh, wow. b5. Sarin sacrificed the pawn, and now after c takes, he sacrifices another pawn, counter-striking the center. So this is how it started. Takes, knight takes on d5. Here, queen d7, knight e4, bishop d4, b takes. White is up 2 extra pawns, but black is attacking. So I believe this is the current position, and Vincent Kiemer is down on 1 minute, and bishop takes on g4 just followed. So the knight on e4 is under attack, because f takes allows black to play rook takes on e4. So I think it's fair to say that Nikal managed to out-trick his opponent and get his sharp game he was looking for. a7. Interesting intermezzo move by the German player. Just a second. All right. And that's it. And that's it. What just happened here? While I was texting here, bishop takes on g4, a7, queen a7, bishop c4 was Kiemer's idea. And now Wait. It's just not working, is it? It's simply not working. Just protect the knight here. So just play something like queen d7 or queen b7, and there's still so many threats. Maybe white is gonna... No, wait, white can castle short. The bishop stands on d4. How is he gonna protect against the bishop takes on f3 threat? And Nikal is looking really great to take down this game. Queen f7, a cold move, attacking the pawn on f3 as well. Nice response. I mean, just in case, maybe after king f1, there's going to be some knight e3 check, take the bishop on c4 with a check, queen h2, I guess threatening with bishop d5, queen takes on h7 and bishop h6, but I mean, you can parry it a number of ways, just play something like h5. And white still cannot take on g4, there's going to be rook takes on e4 check, the white king is in the crossfire. So I'm going to open also the small window so that you can follow another game here, maybe one of the critical games, which is, yeah, I guess it's Gata Kamsky's game. Gata's game against Alain Pichot. He's the leader of the tournament. You can follow it. Very quickly, I'll have a look at what is happening in the other games. Noah Studer has a piece. Very quickly, let me show you this. Noah Studer has a piece for so many pawns. I cannot even count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3 pawns, maybe 4 pawns. So that means Alexienko is playing this for the win and Studer is low on the clock. Maxime Lagarde is still playing against Boris Gelfand. So they have this endgame. Lagarde has extra pawn, but maybe Gelfand can try to salvage the draw because of having the bishop. Alrighty, so let's go back to this very exciting game of Vincent Kiemer against Nikal Sarin. I think I saw him reaching a move. For some reason, it's not updating again. Let me just refresh the board. Queen h2. I think I saw some moves here. h5, g4 has been... Oh wait, f takes on g4 has been played. Rook e4. Yeah, this king spells doom. There's no way white can try to save this. I mean, maybe something like king d2 and pray that black is not gonna get to it. By the way, let's not forget, black's rook on b8 is under attack. What? What on earth is this? So rook d8, bishop d8, there's going to be some knight e3 check. Oh my goodness, this is so sharp. But yeah, even knight e3, queen takes on c4. Yeah, this is killing. No, it's just incredible. Yeah, I think knight takes on c4 is good enough here. Just take the knight with the check. Queen c2 check, take the queen, and that's it. Wow. I mean, I just want to show this moment how Nikal coolly played rook d8, just bringing the rook under attack and calculated very quickly the tactics. Like after bishop d8, the square on e3 is no longer protected, and after knight e3, queen c4, black is crashing through. Amazing game. Let's switch to the leader's game. Gata Kamsky is still fighting this. He has that exchange and the situation has simplified. And on the small board, I could open for you maybe a game of the only other game which is going. Maxime Lagarde is fighting against Boris Gelfand. So Nikal scores a win. Rook b7. Yeah, now white simply gets an extra exchange. There is no compensation. And what does it mean? So that means Kamsky might be actually sitting on 5 out of 5. Wow. It's just incredible. Queen c2, queen c8. The queen is activated. Queen on e1 check is something that Kamsky is not going to miss, of course. There's always bishop f1 at least, but king g2 is the safe move, of course. Of course, you don't gamble. You never gamble. So a true professional is trying to keep the things under control, avoid any funny business. e4 is a very easy move again. Maybe queen c6, no, but I think e4. e4, f4, e5 looks to be killing. So black is trying to organize some counterplay at weak squares, and rook b5, yeah, that's a killing move. So you have to trade queens. No, there's nothing happening. Knight h5, you can always sacrifice the piece. Yeah, Kamsky is going to take this down, so that means he's sitting 5 out of 5, and Alain Pichot resigns. So again, let's go back to this critical moment after the opening. Apparently, Pichot misplayed the opening, but it's easy to tell if you know this. He took the pawn on c5, and which appears to be not a good move because of the stunning knight b3, knight a5, and he appeared to be an exchange down, but still the position was quite complex. After rook b4, bishop c7, white was having an exchange for a pawn, and here Pichot missed an amazing saving resource. Simply play knight e2, knight e4, attack the pawn on f2, and apparently after something like rook c1, knight c4, the rook is disconnected, and black is at the ideas to play knight e2 and knight e4. This opportunity was missed by the Argentinian grandmaster, and Kamsky was able to score the point. Okay, let's switch back to the Lagardè's game against Boris Gelfand. Lagardère has managed to improve his position. Now he has a healthy extra pawn, although it might be difficult to convert it because it's simply not moving forward. Rook a1 check is not to be missed. Knight c2. Yeah, I guess it has to be played, but bishop e3. Now, knight e3 would be a disaster. There's a mate on a1. Now, black, I think, should be able to call this with very accurate defense, because black is so active. And actually, it is possible to misplay this for white. For example, miss the moment e3, king e4, king f3, and suddenly black could even try to take over the game. So that's why I guess Lagardère did play rook e2, not to miss this idea of any e3 ideas. King b1. I guess bishop c4, bishop d3 make easy moves. And king f5 is perhaps ready to join the action here. Who is even playing this for the win now? Bishop d3, something like b3, king f5. Now this is getting not very obvious. Maybe even e3. e3, f takes, and king e4 is a possibility. Okay, Gelfand plays king f5, so the king is coming here. That's a weakness. Rook takes on d3. Gelfand misses a piece, so that's a fork on d4. Oh my goodness, what a blunder. So e takes on d3, knight e4 check, and that's it. Gelfand is losing. Oh dear. What a blunder. So that's it. There's no more fight. Knight e5 check, and that's it. You just resign. Huge blunder by Gelfand. Oh my goodness. King takes an f2. He's still going to fight it, but obviously the white b pawn is going to march forward. So there's not going to be anything happening here. Let me just go back to this moment. Apparently, I was actually thinking about this myself, this king f5. Very nice idea to play king g4 and king f3. And apparently, there's simply rook takes on d3. And knight e4 is killing. Now, instead of this, I guess maybe e3 was a possibility. I don't know. Ah, wait, e3 is also a blunder. Just like rook takes on d3. But what about something like a rook b6, king goes here, and now... Not very obvious, is it? Because king f5 is still knight e3 check, and king is not appearing here, and I guess again it's a fork, the same idea. I keep missing the same fork as Boris Gelfand did. Yeah, this happens. And blunders are part of chess. And in time scramble, everything can happen. Even such great players as Boris Gelfand, they are blundering when in time pressure. So let's check the standings. Not the standings, but the results of today's fifth round. So Alexeyenko beat Studer. We didn't follow this game too much, but we had a peek at some moment when Alexeyenko was having something like 3 pawns for the piece, then 4 pawns, maybe even more. He outplayed his opponent. Lagarde scored an important victory over Boris Gelfand, and this also marks his second win because he did beat him in the first game of Chess 960. Gata Kamsky is just a Terminator. I mean, what can I say? He's sitting 5 out of 5. He plays really amazing chess here. 100% for the American Grandmaster. This time he beat Alain Pechot with white color, and Winston Kiemer was out-tricked by Indian prodigy Sarin Nihal. And let's check now the standings. So there you go. Let me maybe reload in case I'm missing something. Kamsky is sitting at a perfect score, 10 out of 10. And Lagarde and Nihal Sarin, they're 3 points behind, which is effectively 1.5 points if we are looking at the traditional score, because in the rapid section, every victory is counted as 2 points, every draw is 1 point. Kirill Alexeyenko climbed back with 4 points. Maybe he can try to climb up to the 4th place, I don't know, but the top 3 seems to be far away because we have only 2 games left. So essentially, Kamsky needs at least, I guess, just a draw, already more or less fixed first place. In the meantime, Studer sits at 3 points. Gelfand quite unexpectedly shares the last place with Winston Kiemer. Now, who would have thought that? Now let's check the pairings of the next round. In the next round, Winston Kiemer is going to play against Noah Studer. Sarin Nihal meets Gata Kamsky. So this is going to be a huge fight. If Sarin is looking for the fight for the first place, this is it. This is the game he has to fight it. Because if he doesn't win with white, then Kamsky already is impossible for him to take over. Alain Pechot is meeting Maxime Lagarde, and Boris Gelfand is playing against Kirill Alexeyenko. Not really a great tournament for Gelfand, but Alexeyenko probably is going to try to outsmart his experienced opponent. So the game resumes in 5 minutes. So I guess we are going to make a very, very short break and be back in something like 5 minutes. See you very soon. All right, we are back. We are back to the next round. Next round game between Nikol Sarin against Gatakamsky. So this is a huge fight between the leaders. Just a second, my cams are slightly lagging, but you should be able to see them in a moment. So there we go. There we have them on the screen. Very, very important game between the leaders. And yeah, let's see what this game is gonna bring us. There is no 3 count points elo difference. No. I just read in the chat, in the YouTube chat, that Sarin is supposedly elo underdog. That's definitely not the case. It might be that Sarin hasn't played in a lot of rapid tournaments recently. He is about rated 2650 in classical chess, maybe even higher, about the level of Gatakamsky. So definitely, it's not an underdog against favorite here. Doesn't mean anything, really. And again, Nikol plays the same setup. Tribute to Adiban Bhaskaran and his chessable course. He goes for the same setup of d3, knight d2, g3, a5, a3. We already saw something like this in 2 of his previous games against Alexienko and Noel Studer. Nothing is new here. Now, in one of the games, Alexienko played c5 and then a4. Studer tried to play a4, then c5. And here, Kamsky tries something else. He plays c6. I guess we're going to see if this is a better choice. Against Alexienko, Sarin was able to score a very nice win right after the opening. That was in the first round of the rapid tournament. Against Studer, he was doing really good. He achieved the winning position in round 4, if I remember correctly. But in the time scramble, he made a mistake and he suffered a loss. And again, Nikol is doing exactly the same. Trying Gadaban's approach. So knight h3 is played. Now Kamsky is choosing. You know, I like this approach. I think I'm going to test it myself with white. I don't think I'm going to purchase Adiban's course, but I start to like this approach of b3, bishop b2, d3, knight e2, g3, bishop g2, knight h3 against everything your opponent is putting up to you. Just play the same. I mean, if Sarin can do it, I think I can do it as well. I guess. I don't know. Now, after the short castle, knight a6 has been played. Now, let's see. What Nikol has prepared here. All right, knight f4. You know, I'm not sure what to make of this position. The black pawn on c6 obviously is feeling more solid, but I really in general like Kamsky's approach. He's no longer playing as aggressive as he played at the start. You probably remember, right? He started with, for example, Dutch defense. Now he's just playing solid chess because he sees his game is going, it's working, he's making the right decisions in the middle game, using the mistakes of his opponents to his favor. And there's no need for him to go guns blazing for a big fight. He's just playing solid chess and see what happens, right? So if Sarin, by some miracle, would offer a draw, of course, I think Kamsky would accept it because it would, I think so, that's my opinion. It would pretty much secure him the first place, but he doesn't have to make something crazy right here in the opening. b5. Now, I think the idea of b5, I've seen this maneuver before. The idea is to play queen b6 next, and maybe then think about some ideas like knight c5 or bishop c5, and that's the general approach in chess. Push pawns and the pieces behind. It's not vice versa. You don't put the pieces in front of you and then the pawns come charging after you. So in terms of the strategy, Kamsky is doing everything absolutely correctly. Now, Sarin here, he needs to make a big decision sooner or later, because in which direction is he going to play? Is it going to be e5, some kind of a kingside attack? Is it going to be what is it going to be? Because when in two previous games Nikhil played b3 bishop b2 against Alexienko and Studer, the black pawn didn't stand on c6, it stood on c5, and in both games he played e takes on d5 and I was trying to pressure the pawn on d5. Here the pawn on d5 is well protected. He plays queen e2, I guess queen b6 if it doesn't drop a pawn. Queen b6, wait, let me just check it. I think Kamsky is looking at it right now. Queen b6, can we snatch the pawn here? Take. And just take it. Maybe it doesn't work. Takes, queen e7, rook e8. Okay, yeah, this queen is lost. Yeah, maybe that's not the greatest idea. So queen b6 is definitely a move that Gata is considering right now, because I think that makes perfect sense together with the previous move he played. But okay, he plays knight c5 just to be safe. Just to be safe, maybe queen b6 will be played later. Knight c5, attacking the pawn. Maybe one of his ideas actually is at some moment, I'm not sure which moment, is to take on e4. So let me make some random move. Let's say h3, d takes, and now this bishop always is going to be joining the game, something like queen b6. The pawn on e4 is under some pressure, e5, knight e5, and now this bishop is seriously targeting the pawn on c2. So probably this is something that, I mean, at least I would consider playing the black to increase some pressure. I have a feeling that white has to close the position with e5. e5, knight f3, start something to do at the king's side. But okay, Sarin didn't do it. He played something else. I think he played rook d1. Just a generic move, which is a move which you make with your hand. You don't want to make big decisions early. It could be a mistake, right? So it's an easy move. See what happens. Maybe my opponent suddenly decides to come to help me. You never know. And I think Sarin is waiting for something. He's waiting for some kind of a sign from Kamsky. So in which direction are you going to play? For example, maybe now after something like queen b6, now indeed white could try to play e5. e5, knight e7, and maybe h4. And the queen seems to be sort of disconnected at the queen side. And maybe knight h5 and try to go for some big attack at the king side. I mean, I don't know. So this e5 and queen g4, knight h5 would be a typical idea. But with a black bishop on h7, I'm not so sure. Maybe not here. What are the choices Kamsky has here? I guess take on e4. Take on e4 and then play queen b7 or queen c6. I think queen b6. So he's choosing between queen b6 and take on what? Rook c8? I don't understand this move. What's the idea? What's the idea of this move? Maybe it's some kind of a smart waiting move. So they're playing cat and mouse, right? I mean, they're not defining the structure exactly. This is what Sarin does. He's not defining what is he going to do in the center. He plays h4. And h4 in general probably is a good move for white. And I don't like what Kamsky is doing here with this rook c8. I think you need to define your plan a little bit faster. But then again, I mean, he's the one playing and I'm doing the commentary, right? So, but visually, I don't like his last move, rook c8. It just doesn't make any sense in any setup. But then again, let's just wait a couple of moves and see where this game is gonna take us. So Kamsky is playing it careful. Again, he's not trying to defend the setup. So cat and mouse at its best. Both opponents understand the importance of this game. Kamsky knows he needs to play solid. He's trying not to burn any bridges. Sarin is trying to play tricky. Not to play e5 right away, not to give up his cards. We'll see. I guess everything's still good in this game, so maybe we'll use this opportunity to switch to another game. And maybe we can start with this little excitement here. Alain Pichot against Maxime Lagarde. So I'm going to switch small screen. Oh, wait, I already had the small screen. The small screen remains Sarin with white and Kamsky with black. Rook e8 was just played, but let's switch to the game of Alain Pichot against Maxime Lagarde. So that was a French defense, one of the topical lines. Yeah, this is how you should play against the French defense. Leads to very sharp lines, h4, h5. Not sure about c takes on d4, how topical is this line. Again, white freely sacrificed the pawn on d4 for some lead in development. Rook b1, maybe rook b4, I don't know. I wonder how, if both of the players have seen Anish's Giri chessable course, because Anish Giri, one of the strongest players in the world, also has released 2 chessable courses himself. One of them is on Najdorf, the second is French defense. Probably, I guess. If you're playing French defense with white or black and you're a chess professional playing at this level, you have to know every information. b6. The idea, I guess, is to play bishop a6, trade away the light square bishops, and try to keep the extra pawn. So naturally, this is something that white doesn't want to do. So what happens now after rook b4? Is this queen trapped? Probably d4 has to be played. Not very obvious. Not very obvious how white should continue here. Again, I see an engine line here. I'm trying to make it work. Engine says g4 is very great. So the idea is to push away the knight and win the pawn on d4. And after queen takes on g4, knight g5 traps the queen. Oh, wow. So the queen is trapped. Queen g2, bishop f3. And that's it. That's all she wrote. So apparently after g4, black has to do something else here. He cannot do this. He has to play a5. And then after rook b6, white recaptures the pawn and has a great position. So Pichot is definitely thinking about something like this. I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure that he sees rook b4. I'm not sure that he's already picked up g4, but g4 is a move which either you see or you don't. Not very obvious. Then again, it comes together with rook b4. I mean, you play rook b4, d4, and you think about how do I push away the knight from f5? And if you ask yourself this question, then you can pick up the move g4. But just by blankly staring at this position to understand that rook b4, d4, and g4 has to be played, that's literally impossible to pick up. So apparently b6, then it's a mistake. So it would seem. Easy for me to say, right? What is happening in Kamsky's game? The position is quite closed. We're going to use this opportunity and switch to the game of Vincent Kiemer against Noel Studer. So knight f3, e3, okay. Now this is a opening which I can relate to. I played it myself at white. Quite interesting. Now black took on c4 so that he can play b5, c5 and try to challenge the center. a4 is understandable to stop b5 from happening. c5, b3. All right. Knight e2, rook b8. So white's idea was to push, I guess, d4. Okay, apparently not. He played knight g3. Takes, bishop e2. Black is perfectly fine here. Nothing to be concerned about. So I think this entire approach for white, knight e2, knight g3 was a bit too slow, but okay. Queen b1. A very creative play by the young German. Knight g5. Now he's threatened with bishop f6 and queen h7. Now this is looking fun. So I have a feeling that here black had to play something like h6 to stop this knight g5 from happening. And he allowed that. Now bishop f6 is a problem. g6, knight e4. Now this diagonal could cause some problems for black. Takes, and f5, or maybe not. Knight goes away, attacking the pawn on b5. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this position. So this entire idea of knight g5, knight e4, maybe it was just nothing. So white has spent so much time with the knight jumps. For example, here, let's go back to the opening. So it was 1, 2. Then knight g5, knight e4, and knight e4, and knight c3. Literally dance with the knights. Dance with the knights, left and right. And the pawns are very static. There's just one pawn on e3, just one pawn on b3. Who should be in favor for this position? I don't know. I have a feeling that black is doing just good. All right, and let's check the game of Boris Gelfand against Kirill Alexeyenko. Yeah, for Boris, the tournament is not just working. He is missing things in time trouble. Against Sarin-Nikhal, he didn't even exit the opening. Just played it badly, but although, I mean, I have to give a lot of credit for the young Indian player because he played this fantastic idea. And yeah, Gelfand was unable to navigate through the complex variations. Still, I mean, Boris is fighting until the last bullet, and which is admirable. So maybe it's not really working for him, but he's always fighting until the very end, trying to salvage points. It's just not really working for him, at least in this rapid tournament. So we have this position, and somehow white is about to launch an offensive of the pawns at a kingside. How did this happen? All right, so Alexeyenko already play this against Studer. At least a very typical setup. So black is about to lose a pawn, but I guess this is what you call a sacrifice. Knight e7, knight c6, queen g5. Okay. So short castle obviously is impossible. There's going to be bishop f3 attacking with a lot of things here. So you simply cannot do that. g4, h4, f4. And rook e8, this feels a bit slow, but okay. So let's go back to the current position, and this is the current position. It's a huge mess. But the factor that there's obstacle bishops on the board, it means once one of the sides will start to deliver an attack against the opposing king, it's essentially an extra piece in the attack. I think white at the moment, I take it back. I wanted to say white at the moment is a little bit faster, but then I noticed queen h5, queen f3. I'm not really sure how exactly white is faster here. Queen d1 is impossible to parry the incoming queen f3 because queen d1, the knight on c6 drops. Just take it, play bishop c6, and that's it. So where did Boris misplay this? Maybe this entire approach wasn't good. f4, rook e8, bishop a... Yeah, maybe this bishop a3 wasn't good because the bishop no longer guards the e3 square, but it's such an active move. Now, check out this bishop on e4. Very lovely. Rook h2, queen g6, attacking the pawn on g4, g5, queen h5. Wait, this didn't happen. I'm sure. Yeah, so after queen h5, white is still thinking here. Yeah, this looks not good for white. The extra pawn doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter, especially when your king is exposed. There's obstacle bishops on the board. Maybe there's even some e5 ideas. At some moment, e5, tear the position apart. Some queen f3, rook d8 ideas. This king on e1. I don't like this. All right, let's go back to the leader game. Let me just find a cab. So this is the leader game. Gata Kamsky currently has a perfect score, 5 out of 5, or in the Grandmaster Triathlon, one of the 3 tournaments, which counts for Biel overall rankings, 10 points out of 10. Sarin is in the shared second place. He's looking to score a victory here. He knows this game is very important. I mean, of course, a draw wouldn't be a tragedy for him. It would be a decent result. But if he is looking for a victory, he has to win here. And I don't think Nikhal is really looking for ways to draw here. So we left it around here. Yeah, we left it around here. c4 was played. White is enjoying some space advantage. I like this decision to close the position. Now, black's pieces feel a bit awkward. They're lacking space. So Kamsky is trying to give them some air. Oh, wow. Now there's some 95 ideas. And 95 f3 bishop d4. I think Nikhal is in the driving seat, but I would recommend to pay attention to the clock. He is down on the clock by something like 2 minutes. This is still slightly after the opening phase. It just shows how important for Sarin is this game. he's trying to play real well chess here. I guess knight e5. Why don't you play knight e5 right away? Okay, so he plays it. Knight e5, takes, f3. Looks like a great move. So for example, takes, queen goes away. And they try to play something like f3, I guess. Oh wait, there's bishop takes on c5 check. Okay, I don't want to miss that. So I'll start with bishop d4. Bishop d4, f3, h5, some knight g6. This knight on c7 is just terrible. And this is actually what is happening right now. All of this was played. Bishop d4 is a careful move. I'm not sure if Sarin is going to play f3. Maybe there's some other ideas as well. Maybe he wants to play some rook sacrifice on e4. Maybe something like... How do you do it? I mean, I thought maybe if I would be allowed to make a lot of moves, let's say queen d2, rook goes away. Okay, that's just a ridiculous move, but just sacrifice on e4. Then play here. Black wastes his time. I don't know how this should happen, but this was my big strategic idea I would be looking for. And then black is suffering because his weaknesses at the king side should be decisive. But I guess it's easier said than done. So the queen still stands on e2. Queen g4 is met by bishop 5. Maybe Sarin needs to rearrange the knight to d4. Now that will be something. Play something like b4. Put the bishop here. Play queen e3, knight e2, knight e4. How many tempos is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer is it's never happening. It's too slow. It's too slow. You cannot do this. So there should be something more direct. b4 also opens the a file. So he goes for my original idea to play f3, bishop f5. Pretty sure it's going to happen. No. Bishop h7. Now black is threatening to play bishop takes on h4 and win the pawn. Knight g2 is a careful move. I like white's position. This knight on c7 is not doing anything. If somehow black would try to trade the knights, he would be doing okay. But there's no way this is going to happen. At any given moment, black needs to understand that he might play an endgame at some point. Let's say we trade away the bishops, we trade away the queens, white plays b4 and puts the knight on d4, and these now become huge weaknesses. The fact that black has an extra, not an extra, but protected pass pawn in the center, it simply doesn't matter. And of course, Kamsky knows this. He knows he is in slight trouble. Maybe trouble is the wrong word, but he is sitting in a passive defense. He has no active counter chances. So I guess he has to wait. He has to wait and maybe try to exploit some of the mistakes by his young and impulsive opponent in time trouble and try to outsmart him. King h2. This was played. At the moment, I have a feeling that Gata is being outplayed. Maybe on the small screen, I can select another game. In the meantime, Alexeyenko has beaten Boris Gelfand. Now, this is turning to be a nightmare tournament for the Israeli Grandmasters. So we left it, or you can see on the small screen, Queen h5, Queen g4, and black just started a killing attack. So the king is in the middle of crossfire, and rook takes on d4. Oh my god, this is so powerful. Takes, queen takes on f4, and that's it. White's position collapses. This is a check on the king on d2 and rook on h2. Black is up a pawn, extra material. So Gelfand called it quits. Maybe I'm gonna put on the small screen Winston Kiemer against Noel Studer, and let's follow the leader game. Queen e3. All right. Queen g6. So I think Kamsky is taking ways to trade the queens. Trade the queens, then maybe trade the bishops on a5, and just try to hold his weaknesses on e6 and c6. But as soon as the white knight lands on d4, and I would also want you to pay attention. Wait, why is it? Yeah. So I would also want you to pay attention to the last move Nikhil made here. He played penultimate move, rook c1. So he protects the pawn on c5 just in case, so he is ready at some moment to reroute the knight to d4. Or maybe not. I don't know. He just played it back, rook d1. I don't know. I thought I understand why he played rook c1, but apparently I did not. Rook d1 protects against the queen d3 queen trade. b4. Yeah, this is directly linked with the idea to stop white from playing b4 and then reroute the knight to d4. So you think it's only Sarin who is thinking about his beautiful idea to rearrange the knight to d4. Kamsky is doing all of that for his opponent as well. He knows the positional dangers of his position. He knows if white gets the knight to d4, this could be deadly for him. So that's why he played b4, not to allow white to play b4 at some point later, so that now he can focus on what is happening at the king side. Knight f4, queen f7, I guess. As you can see, Sarin has started to play a lot faster. In the meantime, on the small board, as you can see, Winston Kiemer has achieved a winning position. He has two bishops. Wait, cannot be. Wait, it's an extra piece, right? Let me reload the board. Maybe there's something wrong. No, it's an extra piece. Wait, Studer blunderer. He blundered a piece. So there was this moment, bishop e7, bishop takes on c5, and he just blundered so many things. Yeah, so unfortunately for Swiss fans, for Noel also, the rapid tournament is not going successfully. Yeah, well, I mean, what can you say? I mean, such a tough tournament. There's no easy opponent. Everyone wants to beat you. Sarin is down the last minute. g4. I don't know what's his idea. I guess h5, knight f4, knight g6, something. Maybe f... Oh, wait. There's also f4. f4, f5. Maybe this works. Very unpleasant position for Kamsky. h5. But that weakens the king. g5? That is such a strange move. No, I don't approve of this move at all. Why do you play g5? Maybe there was nothing better. Or maybe, yeah, I guess Sarin just understands the position better than I am, because he probably still wants to reroute the knight to d4, and if he fixes the king side, then it's easier to achieve. I guess so. So this is the current position. Black is super solid, but also white is thinking about reroute the knight to d4. I have a feeling that, let me reload the board so that I'm not missing anything. I have a feeling that this game is going to finish with a draw. Because even if white managed to get the knight to d4, all black needs to do is defend opponent c6, and there was a draw offered by Kamsky. At least I saw. There was a verbal expression. Apparently, Saren declined it. Maybe I just misread it. I think I saw offer a draw from Kamsky, and that's it. The king is on d7, knight is landing on f5. And Saren probably is going to agree to draw. Yep. This is how we do it. This is how we make a draw. Kamsky holds a draw from an unpleasant position. So for the American Grandmaster, this is a small victory. But also I think Nikal shouldn't be overly disappointed because he still keeps the second place. I think so, at least. We're going to check the standings. In the meantime, Vincent Kiemer has beaten Noel Studer, who blundered so many things very quickly, and Alain Pichot has lost his game against Maxime Lagarde very quickly. Let me check how did that happen. Oh my goodness, this is a complete mess. So we left it right after the opening and never came back. So yeah, white didn't find this idea. He played short castle, and after bishop a6, black kept his pawn and was able to take over the game at some point later. Yeah, even castle long. So there was this critical moment, let me remind you. Pichot didn't pick it up, but I thought that was really difficult to do. Rook b4, attacking the queen, d4, and now this computerish idea of g4, because queen g4 allows to trap the queen of queen g4, queen g2 and bishop f3, and winning it. All right, let's check the results of the round 6. Let me reload it. So there you go. Vincent Kiemer scores an important victory over Noel Studer. In the fight of the leaders, Gata Kamsky held Michael Saren to a draw. And Alain Pichot lost Maxime Lagarde, having a great position after the opening. He didn't find this amazing resource, rook b4, g4, and the Frenchman took over the game and never looked back. For Gelfand, the tournament continues to be a disaster. Again, he lost the game, this time with white color really in a bleak game. He tried to organize some kind of inspired attack at the king's side, but his attack actually simply backfired. Now let's check the standings. Again, let me reload the page. And Kamsky, wait, did he play yet against Maxime Lagarde? I'm not sure, really. We're going to check the last round's pairings, of course, but Gata Kamsky is sitting at 11 points. Maxime Lagarde is at 9 points. Saren is at 8. Alexienko has climbed to the 4th place with 6 points. Alain Pichot is 5. Vincent Kiemer is 4. And Studer and Gelfand close the tournament table with 3 and 2 points respectively. Now let's check the pairings of the last round of the Rapid tournament. And yeah, apparently I think this means that Gata Kamsky has already won the tournament, because I might have simply forgotten it. He has already played against Maxime Lagarde and beat him, because he's sitting 5.5 points out of 6. A full point ahead of his opposition. So this means even if he loses his final game against Vincent Kiemer, he's always gonna have a better tiebreak. So this means there's gonna be a huge fight for the 2nd place. Maxime Lagarde, this is gonna be the central game of round 7. This is the fight for the 2nd place. Kirill Alexienko is looking to take over maybe the 3rd place. Try to beat Alain Pichot. I don't know the tie breaks. Can he do it? Can he not do it? I didn't check it so thoroughly. And Noel Studer is playing against Boris Gelfand. None of the players are still hoping for anything, but of course they want to play exciting chess. All right, I believe we still have something like 10 minutes. And let's make one more short break of something like 5 minutes and be back shortly. And we are back. We are back to the final round. Let me make some arrangements here first. So I guess we are going to start with the game of the central game for the fight for the second place. Maxime Lagarde against Michael Sarin. Let me just find their feed. The players are still not at the tables. I see Noel Studer sitting with Boris Gelfand. They just want to finish this tournament as quickly as possible. That is understandable. I don't think, though, that they're going to agree to a draw. There's going to be a fight. I mean, this is an invited tournament. And even if they're not fighting for anything in the final game, doesn't mean that they're not going to fight it out. So we have still 3 minutes. Let me again remind you what is the situation in the rankings. Gata Kamsky leads the tournament with 11 points. He has already secured the first place in the rapid section. 5 victories and 1 draw. Very convincing play by the American Grandmaster. Maxime Lagarde is playing with Mikhail Sarin, so that's going to be a fight for the second place. And Kirill Alexeyenko, he might try to overtake Sarin Nikhal. He is in the 4th place, Alain Pichot in the 5th place, and then 7th and 8th place, they're going to battle it out between each other. Yeah, so I assume that after the tournament is finished, we are going to have an interview with a winner of the tournament, which is Gata Kamsky. I don't think this is going to change, unless they're going to change very quickly the regulations in the middle of the tournament. Gata Kamsky is winning the tournament. And we could use this opportunity that you could ask some questions. So if you have some questions to Gata, we can try to relay those questions to him. If it's something very, very interesting that you want to ask Gata, I can try to relay that to Angelica, and she could ask it in the interview. There is a suggestion in the chat if Gata will offer a draw after move 1. Definitely not. Definitely not. He is, of course, going to fight it out. Of course, he has already secured the first place, but he's just going to play for fun. The same applies for Noah Studer and Boris Gelfand. Noel is simply looking for another experience with a legendary chess player, and Boris Gelfand, I guess he's just going to try to play an exciting game. All right, we are still waiting for the start of the tournament. Which is gonna start in a couple of seconds. So Lagarde is in a better position. He is ahead in the overall rankings. And he's with white. So that should be making him a false favorite. Yeah, as you can see, Maxime is slightly tired. I guess it's completely understandable. It's the second tough day for all the participants. Yesterday they played a round-robin Chess 960 tournament, 7 rounds, the same opponents, which finished after long 6 hours. So today they're fighting again, this time in rapid chess. But tomorrow everybody has a rest day. So there will be time to recollect the thoughts and strengths. And why do I see already the moves being played and the video is not playing? I don't understand that. I guess the video is lagging a little. All right. I'm pretty sure it's going to be e5. He plays e5 on bishop c4. Okay, just kidding. So I think Lagarde avoids any Petrov by playing by playing bishop c4. This is usually the approach. Usually if white plays bishop c4, this means he is avoiding any Petrov after knight f3, knight f6. And now either you accept it by playing knight e5, or just play 4 knights, which is considered to be not dangerous. So that's why a lot of people start with bishop c4. So that after knight f6, d3, white is not forcing you to play a Petrov, but it also forces white to play the Italian. Some kind of Italian. I mean, I don't know. It depends really what white is going to do. So knight c3, bishop e4, knight e2. There you go. There's no Italian. d5 takes, knight e5, short cast, bishop e6. All of this was played. I seem to recollect this opening. I think it was bishop takes on d5, f4 is the opening theory here. Takes, and f4. I think so. This is how they usually play it. So the idea is that after recapture, this is a bad move, because after knight f4, this bishop on e5 cannot go back to e6, because knight a6, queen h5 is a big problem. On something like take on c3, b takes on c3, now this bishop could become very powerful on the long diagonal. So all of this is known. So I'm pretty sure that both opponents know this. I think so. Let me reload the board. I think I saw more moves there. No, this is the position. So Maxime is thinking. I'm sure he knows this idea. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Let me check what is happening in the game between Gata Kamsky against Winston Kiemer. I can put it on the small screen. There you go. You can see it on the small live screen. D4. Yeah, there we go. Some kind of a London. Knight e5. Okay. That's a very early moment to play knight e5. Not sure where's the big idea. Now, usually black plays d5, but since white has already revealed some cards and played knight e5 right away, I'm not sure if Vincent is going to play d5 right away. Wait, I think my clocks are not showing here. Here we go. Today my internet is acting all weird. Can you hear me? Hope you can hear me. Can you please confirm you're hearing me? Yeah, okay. So this is the second time today my internet is giving up on me. I'll just call the ISP and say them a couple of strong words. This is not supposed to happen. Yeah, this is not supposed to happen. Apologize about that. All right. Either way, what is happening here? Whoa. Well, my internet was glitching. We missed some action here. Just a second. What on earth happened here? So this is the position. So he played f4 right away. It can't be, right? Takes, bishop c5, bishop c4. But this is just a terrible position. Is this the right... Is this the right position indeed? Because, as I already mentioned it before, the main idea here for white is to play not f4 right away, but play bishop takes on d5 and then play f4. You know, I'm hoping this is not a glitch in the transmission, because this makes no sense, really. Let me again reload the board. No. This appears to be the position. Uh, it's surprising to say the least. Maybe he just mixed up the order of the moves. I mean, the hand made the second move. Sometimes this happens. Let me just double check it. I'm not sure if this is really the position. Um, Let me double check it. No, this is the position. You know, I don't know what happened here. I can only guess. I can only guess. I mean, this makes no sense. No sense at all. I mean, I can only guess that he wanted to play bishop takes on d5 and f4, but the hand reached to make the second move first. Because at this level, you're not supposed to make a positional mistake like this. Now, f4 is a big positional mistake. Knight c3, b takes, bishop c5, check. Just take on c4, trade the queens, and white is positionally busted. Very strange because, again, there's no reason for Maxime to seek a big fight here. He's not fighting for the first place, so there's no reason to invent a bicycle from the start. He just needs to play solid chess. And this could seriously harm his interests to get the second place. Again, let me reload the board. Maybe we'll get the actual final position. Yeah, now white is strategically having a terrible position because these are weak pawns. There's no compensation for it. Black is enjoying simply what we call an extra pawn at the king side. Maybe he can try to hold this, but okay, I don't understand what's happening here. Really, I don't understand it. Alrighty, in the meantime, maybe we can check what is happening in Gatakamsky's game, because he is the winner of the tournament after all. Here we go. So Gatakamsky played this very weird looking 95. Yeah, on the small screen, I think I'm gonna leave the position of Lagarde against Sarin so that you can follow it. Now, Gata here played very strange looking 95. G5. Okay, 94. Now, Vincent accepts the challenge, attacking the bishop here. So his idea was that if white is going to play something like knight c6, b takes, he is going to take the bishop here, for example, bishop d3, knight g3, h takes, open the position, and then eventually claim the supreme power of two bishop advantage. But Gata has this move, queen f3, and apparently you can play knight x and g3, there's a scholar's mate. A minor little problem. So that's why knight e6 has to be played. But this doesn't make any sense. I can only assume that knight e4, knight e6 was not a great idea for black. I just look at the body language of Vincent. He's not happy. He's clearly not happy with the tournament, how it's going. And Yeah, usually this is a disaster recipe for disaster. When you're not playing good, it's just not going for you, and you start to improvise. You have a bad mood, you start to improvise. Usually, it backfires really. So Vincent is of course looking for a big fight, but now his entire position of playing g5, 94, 96. I can only write this down either to tiredness, because this is the second long day. Yesterday they played a long day of just 60 rapid games. Today they played a long day of rapid games. So I guess must be stamina. I mean, otherwise it's quite difficult to explain, maybe somehow together with the fact that the tournament is not really going and you just want to play some exciting chess, but your opponent makes it look really ridiculous. So yeah, then it's what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's a complete disaster for white. Let me again double check if it's indeed the position, because I mean the opening really has been playing tricks. No, yep, this is the position. There's no tricks. This is the position. In the meantime, Sarin is up a pawn. Oh wait, is it up a pawn? No, he's not up a pawn, but he's strategically dominating. Nothing has changed. Okay, let's switch maybe to Kirill Alexeyenko, who is playing against Alain Pichot. Here we go. And in the opening phase, what was played here? So the Jobava variation. Alrighty. So Bahadur Jobava is one of the biggest experts in this line. Technically, it's queen's pawn opening with her, but in the common language, everybody says it's Bahadur Jobava's line. Knight b5, e3, c6, the knight goes back. Now white is threatening to play, bishop takes on a6, and Alain Pichot allows it. Okay. So white didn't take on a6. Knight a4, queen a5, b3, c5. So black is again enjoying a great position after the opening. I like his position. And Kirill has misplayed the opening. Now that should be clear. He doesn't look very happy. I mean, sometimes this happens. You just, I don't know, wake up with the left foot, and the tournament doesn't start great because he started badly today's first round by a crushing defeat against Sarinikal. And I guess it leaves some kind of a stamp how you're going to play the entire tournament. So he just didn't get into this tournament. And yeah, I guess it affects how do you play. Maybe there are some other factors involved, which I don't know, but... And black goes back with knight f6. Now that is strange. Is it a draw offer? Knight f3, knight e4, knight e2, knight f6. A silent draw offer. Maybe Alain Pichot is also not interested to play. But of course, Kirill is going to try to play this. A bit strange with the knight to go back. Bishop b7. Now, instead of this knight f6, I was looking for some more aggressive move here. Maybe something like... Can I play knight c3? Probably not, right? Knight c3. So these bishops, they remind me of the famous Lasker's idea, but I don't think it really works. Bishop h7, queen h5, bishop g7, queen g4, and now you teleport this rook here. But it just doesn't work. I mean, it's an amazing idea, but clearly not here. So this entire idea doesn't work. So knight c3 felt that this is a nice square for the black knight to land. I don't understand why he didn't play it. Queen here and something like a 5. A bit strange. So, okay. Black decided to go back. C3, rook takes on C3. Queen A3 has been played. Okay, there's not much excitement here. Let's go over to the game of Noel Studer against Boris Gelfand. Maybe there's something happening here. All right. And of course they're fighting. They're fighting. There's no draws. There's no draws. Despite the fact that Noel and Boris, they're in the 7th and 8th place of the tournament table, they're going to fight it out. They're going to fight it out. I mean, normally one would expect that this is a quick draw because both of them want the tournament to finish. But of course, Noel is still going to try to gain valuable experience by playing against a legendary Israeli grandmaster. So the opening phase was d4, c4. So we have an Imzo-Indian. Bishop d2, takes. Whoa, knight takes on d4. It doesn't spell a lot of confidence. I think normally you want always recapture the pawn and then play something like bishop d3. But okay, maybe this is a very modern approach. A3, the bishop goes back, and now it goes back. Okay. d5, takes. Now Boris is looking for a big fight in the center. White might potentially organize an outpost on d4. Knight b5, bishop b8, knight e4, queen d6. Now, white cannot simply cast a short. There might be some consequences on h2. Rook c1, bishop b7, knight e4, a5, here. Whoa. So this is the current position. I don't like what Noel is doing here. I have a feeling that this is something he would never do in the right mindset. To go for a position like this, something like g4, knight e4, and the question is, where are you going to position your king? Short castle, no, long castle is impossible. There's no kingside attack. There's bishop takes on the 5 incoming. Yeah, by the way, there's a very good point mentioned by one of the viewers, is that of course, in the overall standings, every single point matters. Yeah, I thank you for bringing this to my attention. Yeah, I think I slightly wrongly announced it because I was only taking into account the places, but the overall score takes into account every single point. Yeah, thank you for bringing this to my attention. Of course, even if they're fighting for the penultimate place in the rapid section, it's still 2 points. Still 2 points up for grabs. So it might mean, okay, so maybe today it's not going for one of the sides in the rapid section, but let's say if Boris Gelfand is going to play brilliant chess, or maybe it's Noel who is going to play brilliant chess in a classical tournament, those small points from the rapid and blitz section, they're going to matter. And nobody is going to really care if they finish in the penultimate and the final place, in the last place, but those points do count for the overall score. But still, g4, knight g3, it's a terrible choice. I don't like it. Now the question is, are we going to look how Maxime Lagarde is suffering against Nikol Sarin? I think he's suffering, simply suffering. Mixed up to order the moves. Play the second move as the first move. There's no other reasonable explanation for this. Now black is, yeah, just strategically enjoying a great position. Now there's going to be rook a, this pawn is going to fall. So in the best scenario, I can imagine maybe a white going for some endgame without a pawn in the bishop endgame. Let's say we trade away both rooks, somehow, yeah, rook a1, that's a sad rook here. But what do you do here? So let's say we trade away both rooks. White gives up the pawn on a2, somehow lands the king on e4 and claims a fortress. That's the best. That's the best I can think of, right? Because these pawns, they are positioned on the color of this bishop, but black can at any given moment just trade it away and play bishop c5. Yeah, this is suffering indeed. We don't want to have a look at this too much. Yeah, let's then just watch the tournament winners game. Gata Kamsky is playing against Vincent Kiemer. And it's, yeah, it's indeed not only secure. I mean, he has already won the rapid section, but Gata is fighting for the overall standings as well. So that is 2 points up for grabs. We left it when Winston played this strange-looking knight e4, g5, knight e4, queen f3. Now knight x on g3 is impossible, and after knight e6, bishop d3, white was appearing to have a great position. Takes, this was played, knight f5, knight e2, bishop g7, short castle, and d5. So I believe we have this position on the board. Both players, they have played 12 moves. 12 moves, but Gata already is in 4 minutes and Vincent is 3 minutes. Let me again reload the board. Hope I'm not missing anything. Nope. This is it. This is the position. So I have a feeling that Vincent's position has slightly improved. I mean, after knight a6, it looked so bad. Knight c6, b takes, rook e1. I guess bishop e5 is gonna follow or not. Now something like king f8. I don't think this is so simple anymore. I don't like what Gata is doing here. What do you do with your bishop on g3? Because bishop e5, black is not gonna trade. He just plays f6. I think Gata has just misplayed this big time. Maybe he just realized that. So I don't know, I mean, bishop e5, this would be a nice idea to simplify the position, play rook e1, knight d3, knight c5, you name it. But the problem is black just plays f6. So the bishop cannot go here, and bishop g3, there's a 4. And white loses a piece. What do you do with the bishop here on g3? h3, f4. Say goodbye to the bishop. It's going to stay there for a long, long, long time. Unless, of course, white is going to be in time to play g3. Yeah, by the body language, Gata is... Yeah, you can see he's shaking his head. He's just thinking, what did I do here? Why did I go for this position? But this is just tiredness. This is just tiredness. I cannot explain it otherwise. Yeah, he knows it. He knows it screwed up big time, and he has to make this sad move h3. Again, you can see him shaking the head. He's not happy with the decision he did. So we can go back maybe to this moment. he had almost like a strategically winning position. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's not strategically winning, but this is a huge advantage for white because this 94, 96 g5 makes a strange impression together. But around here, Kamsky played it too simple. Something too simple here. It's not really clear what he should have done. Maybe around here. Maybe bishop d3 was too slow. Maybe he should have taken the pawn. Here. Knight f5. And e4. So knight g3 is going to be queen takes on f7. Knight e5, bishop e5. Yeah, this is terrible for black. I guess so. He slightly misplayed his. He tried to make normal looking moves, bishop d3, but after knight f5, after bishop g7, after d5, suddenly black was in the game. Okay, I don't think this is the actual position. Let me reload it. Now, after this missed opportunity, it's the young German who has the better position. So the game starts from scratch. In Nicolas' game, you can see the small screen. There's suffering from Lagarde's part. He mixed up the order of the moves in the opening. He should have played f4. The second move, he played it the first move. He missed the intermezzo move, and that's it. After mass trades, he was essentially agreeing to a very terrible endgame. So I think we are going to follow the leader here. Rook e8. Maybe Kamsky has to trade on e8 and fight for the draw. Can he do that? Can I try to do that? Can I try to trade? Trade, 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 and play king f1. Is this possible? So I want to play rook e1 next, and if black plays bishop f8 with the idea to take on c5, give a check and play rook e2, I think white is just in time to play rook e1. Although black is not obliged to trade rooks, and after something like rook b8 appears to be still pressing. Yeah, I guess so. One game appears to be finished. No, wait. Sorry, no. It's not finished. No, everything is still going. Everything is still ongoing. Queen h5 check, bishop g6, queen g4 was played. So this endgame trading the two heavy pieces was a risky decision. Queen d6. The same applies for queen d7. Not sure where's the big difference by taking on e8 right away or trading the queens with queen d7. I don't think it should change much. So white is going to spend some tempos to bring out the bishop from the prison on h2. And this is, by the way, now a very important moment is how a chess professional copes with this situation, because there's one thing when you're confidently playing the game in the entire tournament and you play in a draw, let's say. But let's say there's this moment when you play a really great game and then you misplay it, you blunder it, and even objectively, if your position is good, you have these thoughts in your head. I had this great position. Oh my goodness, I just blundered this. Oh my goodness, I misplayed this. And there are people who simply cannot cope with this pressure. They just collapse it. So there's usually the saying that mistakes come in pairs. So you make one mistake, you know it, and you start to punish yourself deep inside. You're not saying, obviously, there's a complete silence, but deep inside, you're just terrorizing yourself. Why did I do this? Why did I do this? And it takes really skill and a lot of discipline. For example, like Kamsky, just forget about this. The game starts from scratch right here. But you know, I know this from the personal experience. It's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. You just made this huge mistake. You had this almost strategically winning position after the opening, and now what you're doing here, you're just fighting this game to make a draw. Extremely difficult. And the same applies for Lagardè's game against Sarin. He just mixed up the moves in the opening. Play the second move as the first move. I just have no other explanation. And now he has to suffer. So you need pretty much mentally restart yourself. Not all of the people can do it. And sometimes there's just nothing you can do. The position is lost. So we are looking at the small screen. Lagardè's suffering continues. He's still down a pawn. Now black has managed to establish two connected pawns, potentially in the center. I think Sarin's going to take the second place. So all it took was just one mistake in the opening phase, and that's it. F3. So here, Kamsky's idea is to bring the bishop to life. Something like King H1. Not sure where it's going, really. I can try to draw it. Here, here, Bishop A3 and try to trade it. Yeah, really, really difficult to do this. So Kiemer took on C5 and played Bishop C2. Now Kamsky is desperately fighting to save this. I think the pawn on A4 is lost. Something like Rook A1, there's going to be Rook B8, so you need to bring the bishop into the game as quickly as possible. Play something like G3. What choice do you have? I think he's going to play G3. No, he's keeping the pawn. All right. Rook B8 was played. And his idea was to play b4 and establish pass pawn. Did he miss d4? Oh my goodness, what a very nice counter-strike by the German young player. So let me show you again this idea. Wow. So he didn't take on b4. So Kamsky's idea was to establish pass pawn. Instead, Kiemer counter-strikes. He organizes a pass pawn himself. And that's it. And that's it. This game is over, right? Just d2, d1. Yeah, Gata is definitely not happy here. Yeah, I know this. I know this feeling. Sometimes you just outplay yourself. Yeah, of course, he's gonna resign. Yeah, now there's time to recollect what happened here. Of course, he still wins the rapid tournament. He's definitely upset. Yeah, because he outplayed himself. I mean, of course, all respect to the young German fighting some reasons. Of course, Gata resigns. Yeah, there's nothing he can do. You have to do this. But this was just terrible. So again, let me go back to this moment when I didn't like his decision to play Rook A1. But again, you have to give a lot of credit for Vincent finding this amazing resource, D4. So C takes, A takes, B3, B2. Inevitably, white is losing because black creates a protect pass pawn, and white essentially is playing without the bishop on H2. So here, white should have played something like G3. G3 takes on G3, bishop A4, bishop D6, rook A7, and try to salvage this position. But maybe it's even lost. I mean, I don't know. All right, let's maybe check the only game remaining where Maxime Lagardère is desperately trying to salvage his game. I don't think he's gonna do it. It's been a suffering starting with something like move 10. He's still suffering, nothing has changed. Black is gonna push the pawns forward, F4, E3, F3. And yeah. So that means that Gata Kamsky is still winning the tournament, although not in the same mood as before this game, because definitely he wasn't looking towards to finish the Rapid tournament with a loss, especially such a loss, having a great position after the opening. Again, maybe he slightly relaxed after the game. Everybody's so smart. Yeah, everybody knows how he should have done, but what's done is done. You cannot take it back. And also for Maxime Lagarde, he was... Yeah, this is a complete disaster what he did in this game. Just one careless move, and Sarin is doing his job until then. Although, well, still Sarin needs to win this, but those pawns are just marching forward. There's nothing White can do. There's not even some perpetual check ideas. I don't know. Bishop f6, something. f3 is easy move, right? So, of course, Maxime is going to try to play out. Wait for a miracle. But I don't think there's going to be one. c5, another easy move. Or even rook d4. There's so many moves which are winning here. Rook h4 is threatening with a mate. Incredible. I mean, Sarin finds a mate even in this position. Wow. Bishop f6, e2, that's it. Yeah, it's time to resign. It's time to resign. So what does that mean for the results? Let me perhaps show you the results of this round. Quite a surprising round, to be honest. I don't think I have the final results still here. So Boris Gelfand scored a victory over Noel Studer. This game we didn't really, I think, so too much, because we're focusing on other games. Kirill Alexyenko did win his game against Alain Pichot. Maxime Lagarde lost against Sarin Nikal, who takes the second place, and Gata Kamsky, quite surprisingly, after the young German played a crazy opening. He misplayed it twice, I would say, and suffered quite unexpected defeat. Again, let me refresh it, and there you go. There you should see the results and the standings. The final standings of the Rapid tournament, which means is that Gatakamsky takes the first place, but having suffered a loss in the last round. Nikal Sarin takes the second place with 10 points, scoring quite important points in the last round against his direct competitor Maxime Lagarde, who misplayed his opening, I guess, mixing up the order of the moves by playing the second move as the first move. This happens. Kirill Alexyenko scored more important points and finished with 8 points. Vincent Kiemer is on 6 points. Alain Pichot is 5 points. Boris Gelfand at least finished the tournament with a victory and 4 points. And Noel Studer finishes the tournament table with 3 points. All right, I guess now the question is, will we see the interview? So I'm gonna wait for confirmation if the interview is coming or not. So let me double check it. Yeah, there's a question in the chat. Nikal Sarin and some other players, they are coming directly from the World Cup. Yeah, there are 4 participants. 4 participants. They played in the FIDE World Cup, which is currently still ongoing in Sochi in Russia. Many of them made it as far as round 3. Today in FIDE World Cup was the 5th round. I read in the chat there were many draws. Yeah, so I don't know really the results. I guess you can find them yourselves. Yeah, so let me wait for a potential interview. I hope there's gonna be one. I hope so.
processes.
In the meantime, maybe you can try to ask me some questions you would like to be relayed to the tournament winner.
Yeah, but last game was such a disaster. It's like, I don't understand how can I play this so badly.
Sorry guys, I cannot see you.
And I'll try to make it work.
For some reason.
Either way, the coverage of the Biel International Chess Festival is going to resume on Tuesday because tomorrow is a rest day.
All right.
Welcome everyone. We are at 54th Biel Chess Festival and we are having the winner of the rapid tournament, Katakansky, here with us. Big congratulations to you, first of all.
Yeah, thank you, but the last game.
Right, so yeah,
I'm a wreck. Okay.
definitely
But,
don't be shy and ask your questions. Maybe one of the interesting questions I can relay to Angelika
but the last
Volkova,
round,
who
we
is
got 120,
on the side in Biel,
Yeah.
So,
and
it's very finished tournament.
might ask them. Oh, just a second.
You know,
So
you
they're
can be
probably
leading
okay.
for the whole tournament, and then 2 games, and then you lost your lead. Yeah, almost happened.
But
okay.
luckily it
Yeah.
happened this way. So
Right.
we have an interesting game from the first round, which you would like
Yes,
to share
I thought
some.
I thought it was pretty interesting because okay, I know that he plays rook e1, so I played knight a6, and then he plays a3, and then I don't remember why this move has not been played, but here we started just the artistic thinking, yeah. So knight e4, queen b3 is very interesting, king h8, bishop e3, and here I went for this knight c3 and e5, which is pretty standard, and e5, so bishop g5. Yeah, but I wasn't sure if this was good for me, but e4 was very, very strong, of course.
Yes.
And I'm forced probably to go into this line where he gives me this bishop, but he takes this incredible pawn and g4, so a very accurate knight d2, and again, very accurate rook e2, otherwise there's queen f4. And I thought this was pretty important moment. You know, he has 3 pawns for the piece, and then I'm just giving back his piece, but in order to completely destroy the pawn structure. And this bishop, he basically completely, I thought I had positional compensation here. I'm not sure if I had a win, but to me it was very pretty. You know, white has triple pawns, very strong pawn on d6, but the rest of his pieces are not really doing anything. So I hope that, it was just enjoyable to play. But then, of course, it's one thing is enjoyable, but then you have a small amount of time, and my opponent plays very strongly. He goes for queen c7, because if he manages to dislodge my bishop, then he goes e5, knight e4, and he still has like 3 extra pawns. Okay, after, if I take here, so bishop d7 prevent queen c7, queen a5, so, and bishop e6, I decide to play for a win, otherwise he can just play rook f8 and drop, but, I was hoping for my opponent lack of time. And at some point here in this position, I think, white has 2 pawns, but because one of them is doubled and pawn on h2 and pawn on c3 and c5 are weak, I thought I had, compensation because of white's bishop on g2 is definitely not that great. So queen c7, queen c4 check, and queen c5. At this point, he has only 1 extra pawn, and I think the difference in the bishops is pretty large. And he is rook d1, I'm not sure what happened here. How do you go first? Okay. Right, so b5, queen e7, I think rook f6 was accurate, to prevent queen h4 check. Yes, and the rook f1 was probably a critical mistake, and as you said, rook b d2, just protect the pawn on d6, probably is a draw. Yeah. So, that will be quite a fair result, I think, because, we had this multiple piece sacrifices, very pretty game. But unfortunately, my opponent didn't play here. But I think that was the highlight of my day today, because I realized, after this game, luck is on my side. So I was pressing for the luck. Yeah, and then I win 4 in a row after this, except that I was also very lucky. some games. Okay,
Yes,
but I don't.
strategically very nice win from your side. And interesting moment in the game against Nihal, he played this 1v3 with the idea of knight e3 later. Were you prepared somehow for this?
No.
setup?
You know, when I saw this knight h3 move, I thought that I saw this somewhere before, but I never paid attention to it. And then, of course, after knight f4, I realized he's just much better. And I think I was at some point strategically lost. I don't know, for some reason, the last 3 rounds I played very passively. You know, it's just, you know, this psychological thing, trying to consolidate, you know, play solid, but then it turns into passive and you're getting squashed. And yeah, that kind of not how you're supposed to play chess.
Yeah. 2 years ago, you were here already in the Biel playing the Masters tournament. How it feels now during these hard times playing here?
I like it. I like it. It's not because of the result, but also because, you know, the games were interesting. Yesterday we played Fischer random chess. I had a lot of fun playing Fischer random chess. Unfortunately, I lost to both leaders, but, you know, I still shared the second, fourth. So I think it was okay, +1. And today, of course, you know, I'm losing to this guy Keimer all the time. I can't believe it. I lost to him before, I lost to him now. I'm losing to him everything. All the winning positions, bad positions. I don't know what to do about this guy. Yeah, it's amazing.
But the main thing now is to prepare for classical part.
Yeah, but I'm going to be playing black against him, and I have no repertoire. I mean, you know, you saw how Boris crushed me almost today. Yeah, I was very lucky that he missed a 5 bishop f3. Otherwise, he would just, yeah. But okay, we'll see. Yeah.
Yes. So tomorrow rest day. Rest
oh yeah,
well.
Tomorrow's the rest day.
Yes,
okay,
rest
excellent.
well. Maybe visit some maybe lake in the Biel.
Right.
Very, very
so thank
nice.
you to the organizers. Fantastic event. I really enjoy it, and a lot of fighting chess in this tournament.
Yeah.
So far.
It's incredible. Until the very last round, it's not absolutely clear who is gonna catch up, who is gonna win.
Yes. So rest well and good luck for the classical
Thank
part.
you so much.
Yes. And we are getting back to Arthur's. Thank you.
You heard the winner of the tournament, Gata Kamsky, who shared his impressions from the tournament, and he was showing his game against Noel Studer, which was really, really sharp. And of course, Gata wasn't quite happy that he lost the last round, but yeah, that is professional chess, and of course he understands it. Right. That being said, we are finishing the stream today. I don't think there's no more interviews coming here today, and it's been a long day. Hope you enjoyed it. Video was Latvian Grandmaster Artur Nations. I'm not in Biel myself. I'm streaming from Riga. And yeah, I see my chat is mentioning that Gata was very harsh on himself. Of course, you're always very critical of your own play, and Gata, of course, knows that he missed a big chance. But this is what it happens. But still, we congratulate the American Grandmaster for a well-deserved victory. He was the best player today, quite visibly. So our action resumes on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we give green light to the classical chess. We not only will have the Grandmaster tournament of classical chess between the 8 same players, also we are going to have many more tournaments. So it's also the Masters tournament of many strong Grandmasters. More action is coming. There's also going to be parallel youth tournaments, the Swift championships between the youth and some other very interesting, exciting events. So thank you for watching today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you saw, please follow my channel. Please follow Biel's YouTube channel as well. Allow us to grow, and I'll be seeing you on Tuesday. Take care. Have a great remaining day, and see you on Tuesday.